Hey everyone, we're going to review the 4 objectives that we worked on during our graphing chapter. That way we'll be ready to take the test tomorrow. So the first objective we had was to look at a very simple graph and just interpret the graph, answer questions about it. And there were a couple tricks that we talked about, and I hope that you can show on tomorrow's test. The first is you should be able to find the title, kinds of balls. You should be able to see the different categories. Soccer balls are in a different area than the basketballs, which are different from the rubber balls, which are different from the baseballs. So think about the title and the categories telling you what the graph is mostly about. And then one last part that I like kids to focus on is I like them to look at the key. Because even without knowing what the key is, you could answer questions like most and least. Sure, because you're looking at the dots. But if they ask you how many baseballs, lots of kids would answer 2. And that is incorrect because each one of these blue circles stands for 2 balls. So actually the number of baseballs is 4, right? So the key can be a tricky one. So you should be able to look for the title, you should be able to find the categories, and use the key. Those are important information to know if you are going to be interpreting or answering questions about a graph. Day 2. This looks to me to be more interpretation, right? It said that we would start making some of these graphs as that second objective. Let's hope that's coming up here. Here, we're looking at a different title. We're looking at a simpler key, that's nice, and the categories down the side so that we could answer which is more, which is less, how many more if we're comparing to. Yeah, so those sorts of questions, definitely part of interpreting the graph. Oh, okay, so this is real world use of graphing. So think about, maybe we're going to watch a movie in the classroom and I ask the kids, hey, what are your favorite kinds of movies? And you vote. And then I use those votes to help me decide. Math doesn't always happen in a math book. It can happen in the cafeteria when you're ordering drinks. It can happen in the classroom when you're trying to pick out a reward for your class. And here you are making a graph. So one of the things that I wanted you to do this year was to go around the class and ask the question, what's your favorite food? And as your friends answer, oh, I like pizza. Oh, I love tacos. I really like hamburgers. What you'd end up doing is you would be getting some data, right? And then you would use that data to then turn it into a bar graph. And you would see that nobody likes onions. So there would be no boxes here. But 2 people liked tacos. Here we go for tacos. 1, 2. And 2 people like pizzas. 1, 2. But 5 people liked burgers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And you could probably tell, even with my terrible coloring, that this one is most, these 2 are a tie, and this one would be least, right? Making simple graphs and answering those questions about them. We're going to practice a couple more items today, just to brush up on our vocabulary. We'll talk about what the key is and what a tally chart is. We might even make a simple graph together. And we're doing that just to get ready for tomorrow's test, which I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek of. So here we are tallying a bunch of birds. So we're going to practice that. And then we're going to use a very simple circle picture graph to show how many birds are in this picture. For this one, you would find birds that look like this. You would count them 2, 3, 4, 5, and I would go 1, 2, I counted those and I got 12, right? So I'm just doing a tally chart, and then I'll take that information, and when I come down here, they want me to use circles for every 3 birds. So if I have to go to 12, I'm going to count 3, 6, 9, 12, right? Using those circles. And then I would do the same for these flying birds and this second bird and these flamingos and these fancy peacocks. Very nice. Anyway, I promised I would show you the test. So at the top of the test, we'll be practicing tallies. Then we'll be interpreting data from this chart about different kinds of nuts. On the back, you will make a tally chart first, and then turn that tally chart into a graph on the bottom. Gonna be pretty straightforward. When all of that good stuff is done, right, we will do a fun activity with this colored spinner where you practice, yet again, some simple graphing together. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.